It's one thing when a horror game terrifies a player through random jump scares. However, it's a whole other story when it can do it through pure tension. So today, we're ranking the top 8 horror games that instill true fear within us. Starting us off, we have Little Nightmares 2. This title follows the boy Mono and a girl named Six as they work together to survive the terrors of Pale City. The tension here stems from the grotesque imagery and oppressive environments the duo must traverse. Compared to the outside world, you are small and fragile, and you're constantly being hunted by twisted, oversized creatures. The side-scrolling aspect only enhances this experience, as you never know what may be around the next corner. It feels like watching a nightmare in motion. Add to that the haunting soundtrack, and it's easy to see why we had to add this title to our list. Next, we have Visage. Inspired by PT, this title transforms a haunted house into a labyrinth of trauma and paranoia. The environment is unrelenting, and will stop at nothing to break the player's sanity. It expertly uses silence and stillness to build terror, so something as simple as a random door slamming shut can scare the soul out of you. And the story is just as terrifying, with each chapter introducing a unique and often tragic horror. So trust us when we say that this title will have you on edge until the very end. In 6th place, we have Mortuary Assistant. Like the last entry, this title builds fear through tension rather than action. You play as a worker in a morgue, preparing bodies through a variety of gruesome methods. However, you have very little room to maneuver. On top of that, you're being watched by demonic forces who seemingly came out of nowhere. Working in this tight space while trying to avoid said forces is what makes this game so terrifying. You'll feel trapped, and the fact that the spirits of the dead can pounce at any moment will only add to the uneasiness. In 5th place, we have Alien Isolation. This game is a masterclass in sustained dread. First off, it takes place in a station within the deep expanse of space. 2. Unlike scripted horror games, danger here is completely unpredictable. The Xenomorph AI reacts to sound and movement with terrifying accuracy, making every room a potential trap. The fear here is constant. On top of that, save points are scarce, and death is punishing. All this makes Alien Isolation a challenging roller coaster of fear and torment. 4th is Silent Hill 2. This title isn't just scary. It hits right in the emotions. The town of Silent Hill warps itself around the protagonist's inner guilt and grief, creating monsters and illusions that reflect his psyche, thus making each creature design, sound cue, and camera angle serve a narrative purpose. The fear builds as you understand what each horror means. Couple that with this eerie environment, and you get a timeless experience that rattles the mind as much as the nerves. Moving on to the top 3, first we have Outlast. Like many of the other titles in this list, this game puts you in a place where you can't defend yourself. To make things worse, you're stuck in an abandoned asylum full of deranged inmates and unrelenting threats. The only tools at your disposal are night vision and hiding spots, emphasizing your vulnerability. The tension is constant, as you're always being hunted, thus making this the perfect title for players who fear what they can't confront. In 2nd, we have Amnesia: Dark Descent. Released in 2010, this title redefined survival horror by emphasizing fragility and fear of the unknown. The player explores a decrepit castle with no way to defend themselves. Light is scarce, which ties directly to the sanity mechanic, hitting the player with hallucinations and auditory distortions if they stay in the dark for too long. The fear here doesn't just come in the unlit environment, but in the fact that the protagonist is in the process of losing his mind. Even now, over a decade after its release, Amnesia: The Dark Descent remains one of the most psychologically disturbing horror games ever made. And finally, in 1st, we have Resident Evil 7: Biohazard. This title re-established the Resident Evil franchise as the king of fear. It reinvented the usual formula by switching to first person. You play as Ethan Winters, a man who enters a creepy plantation in Dovey, Louisiana in search of his wife. There he meets the absolutely insane Baker family, and unspeakable horrors ensue. Tension builds from the start, and thanks to the first person POV, all the threats feel even more dangerous. The use of body horror and psychological torment makes for a nasty combo. And that's only heightened by the fear of constantly being hunted. If you're new to the Resident Evil series and are looking for something truly terrifying, this is a good place to start. But that's it for our list, folks. Let us know what you thought about it below. Until next time, thanks for watching and happy gaming.